Good day everyone! Before we begin our lesson, let's first have a short and exciting activity. Our game is call alphabet to number in the activity. Each number and correspond to a letter of the alphabet. For example, stand for A2 and stand for B, and so until 26 which stand for Z. I will read question first and I will show you a set of numbers. Your task is to decode the number and guess the correct word of all the answers are related to our topic, literature. You will begin. Question number 1. This refers to writing works such as story, poem, and play. And your time start now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up! The correct answer is literature. Literature is referred to written works that express ideas and emotion and human experience. Question number 2. Who is the person behind every story of literary work? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up! The correct answer is author. An author is a person who writes or creates a literary works. What type of literature use rhyme, emotion, and creative language? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, guys. The correct answer is poetry. Poetry is a form of literature, the use of creative language and right to experience the tongue and emotion. Question number 4. Who are the people of figure found in history? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, guys. The correct answer is character. Character is the person, animal, or figure that take part in history. And the last one is, question number 5. What do you call a sequence of events with a beginning, middle, and end? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Time's up, guys. The correct answer is story. A story is a sequence of events that form a narrative. Excellent job, everyone. All the words you decode are connected to our lesson today, which is a literature. Now let's officially begin our discussion.
Good day everyone, I am Nereka J.E.P. Fernandez from 24 BSE 1M and today we'll learn about literature. Literature is the art of using words to express ideas, emotions, and human experiences. This can be in the form of stories, plays, poems, and essays. Its purpose is not only to entertain but also to inspire and help people understand life, culture, and imagination. Prehistoric literature is the earliest form of human storytelling before writing was invented. It was passed down orally through chants, myths, and songs, shared during rituals, harvests, or any cultural gatherings. So here is an example of prehistoric literature. It is Ifugao Hood Hood chants where they sang during harvests or funerals.
Ohem nung gawan na noltol wag boy algod na yati algod na yanang imbuki daya pemanun ingadan hidang nunay dumangunaya na ohanim pangaiwan ohem kapitanah bugan akin bugan na ay ngajana anunga anhoy ma ohan nakapangaiwan bugan diligon ay nunduyan diamot alina lakin wadah adagon hajanema ohe Dangunay ang pitawonay punbangan jabananu agapawan janum payawan ja Hi adagon hajan Nangago ko punbangan jabananu agapawan janum payawan ja Hi adagon hajanema ohe Paliwan bugan ya enataong nakanayong tongboy algod na yati algod na Yanang imbuki Inayan na inupah bugan akin bugan yan na O anak kapangaiwan ohe Gaya mo bugan ang gawaonay kagawaan tulugawan na yagawanat na Hi adagon hajan Yatinangad bugan di timinjung ang bale dapeg gawana yagawanad na Hi adagon hajan nema ohe Yani hamhamad dilak bindi timinjung ang bale dapeg gawana yagawanad na Hi adagon hajan Inaydaan ay impayan inadangunay dumangunay yan na O hanim pangaiwan ohe Wanin gon pinito na'y punbangan jabananu agapawan janum payawan ja Hi adagon hajanema ohe Kaya mo bugan ang pitawonay punbangan jabananu agapawan janum payawan ja Hi adagon hajan Nod-nod na pantalan kajakalan Hi agapawan janum payawan ja Hi adagon hajan lema ohe Kaya mo bugan akin bugan ya na O anak kapangaiwan ohe Paliwan na dalan mahinal o yanun hanal o yakinal o ikaboboble
Ancient literature refers to the earliest written works of human civilizations or created after the invention of writing around 3000 BCE. It includes myths, epics, religious texts, laws, and histories from cultures like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Greece. Here's the example of ancient literature titled The Epic of Gilgamesh. It is the world's known oldest epic stories, which was first told in Mesopotamia around 2100 BCE. So it is all about friendship, heroism, and the search of the meaning of life. Medieval literature is the body of writing created during the Middle Ages, after the fall of Rome and before Renaissance. So medieval literature is the mix of faith, heroism, and imagination, bridging the ancient oral traditions and the written culture that led to Renaissance. So here is an example of medieval literature titled Beowulf. So Beowulf is a medieval epic that preserves ancient heroic traditions while expressing the cultural spirit of the Middle Ages. So Beowulf is the world's oldest epic stories in the Old English, and it was written around 8th to 10th century by a known poet. Renaissance and early modern literature from 14th to 17th century mark a rebirth of classical learning and creativity. Writers focus on humanism, individuality, and worldly experience, moving away from purely religious themes. So, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare is one of the classic Renaissance literature because it reflects humanism, emotions, and creativity of the 16th century, moving beyond medieval religious focus. Modern literature from 19th to 20th century reflects the rapid changes of industrialization, nationalism, colonialism, and world wars. They move away from medieval to Renaissance traditions focusing on realism, individuality, and experimentation. The movement includes romanticism or emotion and nature, realism, naturalism, or everyday life and social struggles, and modernism or stylistic innovation. So, Ulysses, written by James Joyce, is one of the modern literature because it refined the novel form, turned ordinary life into epic storytelling, and embodied the experimentation and realism that characterized the modernist movement. So, contemporary literature from 1945 to present refers to the work that reflect modern realities, diverse voice, and global issues. It often explores identity, technology, and social change using experimental styles like magical realism, post-colonial narratives, and dystopian fiction. One of the examples of contemporary literature is Life of Pi by Jan Martel. It is a contemporary novel about Pi Patel, and it is published during 21st century and reflects modern concerns like identity and beliefs and human endurance while using creative storytelling techniques that challenge the readers to question truth and meaning.
Good day everyone. My name is Daniel Francisco and I'm here to report the two local and international literature. The second local literature is Florante at Laura. The author of this literature is Francisco Balagtas. It's all about love story mixed with betrayal, war, and justice set in a fictional kingdom. It's written in the Philippines. The reason of this literature is to express personal struggle and criticize abuse in society under colonial rule. The meaning of this literature is to reflect love, resilience, and hidden criticism or injustice. The first local literature is El Filibusterismo. The author of this literature is Dr. Jose Rizal. It's all about story of Crisostomo Ibarra. It's exposed the abuse of Spanish friars and officials in the Philippines. It's written in Berlin, Europe. The reason for this literature, Rizal wanted to reveal the injustice Filipinos suffer under Spanish rule and inspire reform. It symbolized the awakening, nationalism, the fight against oppression. To international literature. The first one is Pride and Prejudice. The author of this literature is Jane Austen. It's all about romantic story about Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, focusing on relationship and social class. It's written in England. The reason of this literature is to explore social behavior, marriage, and class difference in society. The meaning of this literature is to teach us the importance of understanding, humility, and not judging others quickly. The next is 1984. The author of this literature is George Orwell. It's all about dystopian world where the government controls everything, even thoughts. It's written in Scotland. The reason of this literature is to warn people about the danger of totalitarian.
So hi everyone, I'm Kyla Ming Arsindaron from 24 BSE 1M, and now I'm gonna discuss the three local literature. So first is the story of the Mats. So yung the Mats po is a short story about a father carrying woven mats for his family. So yung mats po na yun is para sa kanyang mga anak at nilalabas lang during special occasions. So, habang umuusad po yung story, pinapakita dun sa story yung ah, deep love ng father sa pamilya niya. Lalo na nung may maths pa rin para sa mga anak niya. Para sa mga anak niyang pumanaw na. And yung main themes po ng story is about love, memory, and strong family bond even after that. So, this story is written by Francisco Arceliano, published on 1948 after the World War II. So the second topic is about how my brother Leon brought home a wife. So yung How My Brother Leon Brought Home a Wife is about a woman from the city na pumunta sa province kasama yung husband niya para makalala ang family ng husband niya. So, yung story po nito is yung pinapakita dito yung adjustment niya sa rural life at paano niya natutunang ma-appreciate yung simplicity ng province. And this story reflects themes of acceptance, love, and understanding differences in life. So the third one is Ang Tondo Man May Langit Din. So yung Ang Tondo Man May Langit Din po is a novel that shows the reality of life in Tondo, where poverty and struggles are part of everyday life. It follows people na nagsusumikap mabuhay at magkaroon ng pag-asa despite hardships. Pinapakita po nito yung themes of survival, social inequality, and hope kahit mahirap yung situation.
Good day, sir. Ako nga po pala si Rachel Simuanya. Ang tatalakayin po natin ngayon is three famous international literature. Ang una po ay si Harper Lee. Ang ginawa naman ni Harper Lee is To Kill a Mockingbird. Tungkol saan ba talaga ito? Ginagamit ni Harper Lee ang pagkabata ni Scout Finch sa Alabama noong 1930s para ipakita kung paano gumagana ang mga rasismo at panghuhusga. Ang pinakaaral, ang tunay na tapang ay yung gagawin mo ang tama kahit alam mong matatalo ka. Bakit Mockingbird? Ang Mockingbird ay ibong kumakanta lang at walang siyasaktan na kahit sino. Sabi ni Atticus, kasalanan ng pumatay ng Mockingbird. Dalawang tauhan ng Mockingbird sa kwento. Ang una ay si Tom Robinson, black na lalaking maliit kinasuhan ng panggagahasa. Mabait siya at tapat siya, pero sinira siya ng may racist na hurado. Si Boo Radley, matahimik na kapitbahay na ikinakatakutan ng mga bata. Sa uli, siya pa ang nagligtas kina Scout at Chem. Then, sa second naman pa ay si Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Ang ginawa naman niya po ay yung 100 Years of Solitude. Tungkol saan ito? Tungkol siya sa kwento ng 7 henerasyon ng pamilyang Buendia sa bayan ng Macondo. Nagsimula kina Jose Arcadio Buendia at Ursulan Iguran na nagtatag ng bayan para takasan ng multo ng nakaraan. Paulit-ulit ang mga pangalan, pagkakamali at trahedya ng pamilya sa loob ng 100 na taon. Ang ending naman po nun ay yung huling Buendia si Aureliano Babilonia. Nagkaanak sa tiyahin niya. Ang bata pinanganak na may buntot na baboy. Yung kinakatakutan ni Ursulan sa simula pa lamang. Kinain ng langgam ang bata at nagunaw ang Macondo sa hangin habang binabasa ni Aureliano ang propesiya. Sinasabi ng propesiya na mabubura ang Macondo sa alaala ng tao. Ibig sabihin po nun, kapag hindi na natuto ang isang lahi ng kasaysayan, na maulit ang trahedya hanggang sa mabura sila. Then last naman po si Victor Hugo. Ang ginawa naman niya po is yung Les Miserables. Tungkol sa naman po yun. Ang pamagat mismo, ibig sabihin ng mga kahabag-habag. Kwento ito ng taong sinira ng kahirapang batas at lipunan sa France noong 1815 to 1832. Then, mahaba po kasi ang libro. Ano naman po siya ng bakit mahaba ang libro? Kasi hindi lang ito kwento. Tumigil si Hugo para mag-essay ng 15 pages tungkol sa Battle of Waterloo, imburnal ng Paris, buhay sa kumbento at argot sa salitang kalye. Gusto niyang ipakita ang mga kahabag-habag ay produkto ng buong sistema. Ang ending naman po ng Les Miserables ay namatay si Valjean mag-isa, pero katabi niya si Concite at si Marguerite. Huling sinabi niya, ang mamatay ay hindi masakit, ang masakit ay mamatay ng hindi minamahal. Bago siya mamatay, ikinumpisal niya lahat ng kasalanan niya kay Marius para malinis sa pangalan ng Concite. Namatay siya ng payapa kasi napatawad siya at nagmahal siya. Iconic line sa dulo, ang pagmahal ng ibang tao ay makita ang mukha ng Diyos. That's all po. Thank you.
So, my name is Meryl Sofia W. Amera. So, ang topic ko po ngayon ay international literature. So, yung una po is The Tale of Genji, written by Murasaki Shibuki. So, it was considered the world's first novel. So, nire-represent ng novel yung buhay ni Prince Genji na nag-reflect sa cultures and traditions ng early Japanese society. So, its significance lies in introducing detailed storytelling and deep character development which influenced modern prose literature. So, yung pangalawa naman po is 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So, ito naman tells a story about sa pamilya across generation using magical realism. So, importante nga to kasi dito nag-reflect yung Latin American culture at ginawa rin tong unique literary style na naging sikat sa mundo. Yung the last is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. So, a story about a young man na naghahanap ng life purposes. So, it featured themes of dreams, self-discoveries, and perseverance. So, kaya naging malaga itong literature kasi nagbibigay siya ng inspiration sa mga naging readers globally at naging one of the most widely read modern prose works.
Good day everyone, especially to Sir Pax. My name is Yeshalyn Mateo and I am here to discuss about the history of poetry. But first, what is poetry? So, poetry is form siya ng literature that is written in stanza form. It uses an aesthetic, rhythmic, and often metaphorical language to evoke emotions, convey intense feelings, or create vivid imagery. The history of poetry. So first is ancient period. Poetry likely began as an oral tradition like stories, myths, and songs which is passed down before writing existed. Some of the earliest known works include the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh, Egyptian hymns, and early Chinese poetry later compiled in the Book of Songs. In ancient India naman, sacred texts like Rig Veda were composed in poetic form. So the next is the Greek period. In ancient Greece, poetry flourished with figures like Homer, whose epics Iliad and Odyssey shaped Western literature. And in Greek period then, is yung poetry doon is pine-perform siya aloud and sometimes with music. The next is Roman period. In classical Rome, poets such as Virgil and Ovid expanded epic and lyrical traditions. So, yung Romance is inimitate lang nila yung works of the Greeks. So, Virgil combined the two works of Homer, which is yung Iliad and Odyssey, into one epic entitled Aeneid. So, yung Aeneid daw is about the story ni Aeneas, which is, si Aeneas is one of the character in Trojan War. The medieval period. So, during the medieval period, yung poetry daw is most closely tied sa religion, courtly love, and oral storytelling. So, in Europe, yung works like the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri and the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer is nasa central, which means masikat yung dalawang works na yon noong medieval period sa Europe. And in the Islamic world naman, poets like Rumi is create niya yung deeply spiritual and philosophical verse. Renaissance to Enlightenment. So, the Renaissance revived classical ideas and emphasized human experiences. Poets such as William Shakespeare is sinulat niya yung sonnets na hanggang ngayon is influential pa rin. Later naman, during the Enlightenment, poetry often focused on reason, order, and form, which is ayun yung mga nakikita sa works ni Alexander Pope. And one of the most famous works ni Alexander Pope is yung The Rape of the Lock. Romanticism and modern poetry. So, in the late 18th and 19th centuries, romantic poets like William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge is mas in-emphasize nila yung emotion, nature, and individual experience. So, one of the most famous example ng work ni William Wordsworth is yung I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud. And one of the most famous work naman ni Samuel Taylor Coleridge is yung The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So, for the modern poetry naman, the 20th century brought experimentation and diversity. Poets such as T.S. Eliot, Langston Hughes, and Maya Angelou is in-explore nila yung modern life, identity, and social issues. Yung free verse is mas naging common, breaking away from the strict rhyme and meter. So, yung one of the most famous example ng work ni Eliot is yung The Love Song of J. Alfred Purfrock. And kay Langston Hughes naman is yung I-2. And lastly is yung kay Maya Angelou, yung one of the most famous example ng work niya is yung Still I Rise. And the last is contemporary poetry. So today, yung poetry is nag-i-exist in many forms, like written, spoken, and even digital. So, spoken word and performance poetry is mas nag-gain ng popularity. Yung spoken word and performance poetry is mas ina-address nila yung social justice and personal identity. Yung online platforms naman is mas pinadali or mas ginawang accessible yung poetry, allowing new voices from around the world to be heard.
Good day, Sir Fox and classmate. This is my report in local poetry. To the Philippine Youth by Dr. Rizal, 1879. Ang tula ito ay sinulat ni Rizal noong 18 years old pa lang siya. Nagpasali siya sa isang literacy competition na pinapatakbo ng mga Espanyol at nalalo siya ng first prize. That means siya ang unang Pilipino na nakatanggap ng ganong pangalan. Ang mensahe ay tula ay simple pero powerful. Gamitin ang mga kabataan ang mga edukasyon bilang sandata laban sa kolonismo. Tinitingnan ni Rizal ang kabataan bilang pag-asa ng bayan. Gumagamit siya ng imahe, ng liwanag at palipad para ipakita na ang kalayaan ay posible kung matuto ang mga Pilipino. Ang pinaka-unique nito kumpara sa ibang pag yung trick poem noon ay tono niya, hindi malungkot o nagsireklamo, kundi puno ng pag-asa at pagdiging sa kinabukasan. Baka sa kanya, ang kalayaan ay makukuha sa pamamagitan ng pag-iisipan, hindi lamang sa pahipaglamang sa digmaan. Florante at Laura by Francisco Balagtas, 1938. Ito ay isa sa pinaka-importanting ng Tagalog poetry. Ang kwento ay nakaset sa ancient Greece. May mga Nobel, may pag-ibig, ay may pagtataksil. Pero ang tunay na layunin ni Balagtas ay ipakita ang mga kapulitan ng Colonialismo Espanya sa Pilipinas. Ginamit niya ang ibang bansa para makaiwas sa mga Espanyol, pero alam ng Pilipino noon na huli na kahulugan. Ang bilas ay si Florante ay matapos ng pandirigma na nakunong sa isang kabugatan dahil sa pagtaksi ng kanyang rival na si Adolfo. Sa huli, naligtas siya at nakabalik sa kanyang mahal ni si Laura. Ang mga kadena, pagtatapol at kadiliman, sa kwento ay simbolo ng pag-aapi. Habang ang kalikasan ay kumatawad sa kalayaan. Ang obra na ito ay bahagi ng Philippine Literacy Canon, tulad ng No Limitary ni Rizal. In fact, ginawa pa nga ito ng Hipward sa reading sa high school at bilang paparal sa kanya, pinatilit ang parapo ng pangalan na sa isang bahay ng Bulacan. Tinatawag na itong Balagtas. Bayan ko by Jose Corazon de Jesus, 1929. Ang bayan ko ay madalas na tinitawag na pangalawang pambansa awit ng Pilipinas. Hindi lamang to opisyal, pero ang lakas ng mensahe niya. Pero sa pambansa, ang original ito, sinusulat sa Espanyol. Tapos, nisalin sa Tagalog ni Jose Corazon noong 1929. Ang pagmamadyariyang imahe na ito sa tula ay ibo sa ako. Ang bayan ng Pilipinas, lupain ng ginto, balakla, kahit ay ibo, ay nakalain nakulong sa ilalim ng dayuang pamamahala. Ang tiyak yung ibon ay kumatakawan sa pagnanais ng mga Pilipino sa kalayaan. Ang tula ito ay nabuhay muli noong 1980. Nari-anthem ito ng People Power Revolution upang magpatalsik na bakak si Marcos. Di ba bakak sa noon, bakak sa ngayon. Niawit dito sa Marawi State Federal at Rote si Rally. Ibig sabihin nito, hindi basta-basta nga lang gawa-gawa nga lang ng poem. Huwag pa rin ito hanggang ngayon bilang simbolo ng Pilipinong diwa at pagmamahal sa bayan.
Good day. My name is Jumiel B. Valeriano, and I'm here to report the two local poem and also two international poems. So, the first that I choose, a local poem, is about the Mi Ultimo Adios, which is the author is our Pambansang Bayani, Dr. Jose Rizal. So, Mi Ultimo Adios, which is the last farewell. So, ang mensahe ng poem na ito is, this poem is about accepting for deeper cause. So, ipinapaliwanag dito ni Dr. Jose Rizal na ang pag-aalay ng kanyang buhay or pagbubuwis ng kanyang buhay ay hindi isang pagkatalo, kundi kumbaga isang regalo para sa kalayaan or kasiyahan ba para sa kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Kumbaga kasi para sa kanya, ang mamatay para sa bayan ay isang malaking karangalan at kumbaga kaligayahan para din sa ating lahat. So pinapakita rin dito sa poem na ito na ang kanyang huling pamamaalam or last farewell for his family and friends, sa kanyang pamilya at kaibigan, na gusto niya paalala sa ating lahat na kahit wala na siya, ang kanyang kumbaga ang kanyang pag-ibig at pagmamahal sa bayan ay mananatiling buhay sa puso ng bawat Pilipino. Simple lang ang mensahe ng poem na ito. Kumbaga, sinasabi lang dito na huwag tayong matakot magsakripisyo para sa ikabubuti ng lahat. So that is the first poem that I choose, that I present. So the next poem is Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Lupa. Kumbaga, ito is, ang author is si Andres Bonifacio, which is ano lang din ito, simple lang para rin sa bayan. So, Bonifacio, Andres Bonifacio emphasized that the greatest form of love is the love for the love of one's own country. So, kumbaga, pagmamahal niya sa kanyang sinilangan or bayan. Kumbaga, sinasabi niya dito na walang ibang pag-ibig na makakapantay sa tindi at linyas ng hangarin nito. So, ito ay isang panawagan para sa lahat na magkaisa at ipakita ang kanilang katapatan sa kanilang bayan o lupang sinilangan. So, ayun yung pinapakita ni Bonifacio. Pero, sinabi niya rin dito kumbaga sa ikalawang bahagi, napaliwanag niya na ang tunay na anak ng bayan ay handang itaya ang lahat. Kumbaga, pati nga ang buhay, di ba? Sabi rin ni Dr. Azariza na namatay siya para din sa bayan. So, ganun din si Andres Bonifacio, ganun din yung sinasabi niya na handang itaya ang lahat. Kumbaga, pati ang sariling buhay. Kung ang bayan ay nasa ilalim na ng hirap at pang-aapi, tungkulin natin kumilos at ipaglaban o lumaban. Ang tula na to ay nagsisilbing paggising sa natutulog na tapang ng mga Pilipino nung panaong revolusyon. So, kumbaga, pinapakita lang dito ni Andres Bonifacio sa kanyang poem na kailangan din natin tumayo para sa ating bayan, tumayo para sa ating kinabukasan, kasi hindi naman dapat tayo na magpapapik kung kani-kanino. Kumbaga, ipaglaban din natin yung sarili nating karapatan. That is my second report, which is the Pag-ibig sa Tinubuang Lupa. So, dako naman tayo sa international poetry. So, I choose The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. So, ang mensahe lang ng tula na to ay tungkol sa mga desisyon na ginagawa natin sa ating buhay kapag tayo ay nasa harap ng dalawang pagpipilian. Mahirap malaman kung alin ang tamang daan dahil hindi natin alam kung saan tayo dito dadalhin. Ipinapakita rin ni Frost na ang bawat pagpili ay ang kibot nito is paghinayang dahil hindi natin pwedeng balikan ang landas na hindi natin pinili. So, kumbaga, sinasabi lang dito na piliin natin kung ano yung narapat at hindi na natin, syempre, mababalikan kung yung mga hindi natin napili. So, kasi madalas nating isipin na mas maganda ang fat, less traveled. So, pero ang totoo, tayo lang ang nagbibigay ng kahulugan sa ating mga naging desisyon. Kumbaga, sa huli, sasabihin natin na ang pinili nating landas ang nagpabago sa ating buhay kahit na sa simula ay mukha namang silang magkatulad. Kumbaga, ang mensahe lang nito ay tungkol sa pagtanggap sa ating naging tadhana. Kumbaga, kung ano yung pinili mong choice of path na tinahak mo is tanggapin natin kasi yun yung naging desisyon at napili natin. So, that is the first one, international poetry that I choose. And the second is the Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. So, ang mensahe lang din ito, pinapakita sa poem na ito is na ang physical na kagandahan ay kumbaga pasamantala lamang, gaya ng tag-init na natatapos din, na o ang araw na tatakpan ng ulap. So that is the pinapakita na tatakpan din na ang ganda ay isang, kumbaga, ang ganda ay isang tao ay unti-unti ring kumukupas habang tumatanda. Sinasabi din ni Shakespeare na ang kalikasan at panahon ay laging nagbabago at hindi natin ito mapipigilan. Kumbaga, sa sinasabi nga na ang oras ay tuloy-tuloy lang, mga pagbabago is tuloy-tuloy lang din. So, lahat may pagbabago na tanggapin natin na sa ating buhay ay lahat ay may pagbabago. Kumbaga, ngunit ang tula na ito ay may solusyon sa kamatayan. Kumbaga, ang sining ay sinasabi ni Shakespeare na hanggat may mga taong nagbabasa ng kanyang tula ay mananatiling buhay ang kagandahan ng kanyang minamahal. So, hindi siya kailanman malilimutan dahil sa kanyang alaala or nakatanim na sa loob ng mga salitang ito habang buhay. So, ayun lang yung sinasabi ni Shakespeare dito na oo, lahat kumukupas, lahat is nagbabago, pero dahil sa tulang ito, kumbaga, maaalala natin siya yung mga yung kanyang tula na nanatili na buhay. So, that is my report and the next international report is the next reporter. Thank you.
So, hello everyone. I am Lara Q. Basiledes, Special User Packs. So, yung part ko po is about history of prose from different era. So, the first one is the ancient era. So, nag-start ang prose sa civilization like ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Ginagamit ito sa philosophy, history, and public speaking. So, basically, prose was used para ma-explain ng malinaw ang ideas at para ma-record ang knowledge. So, writers like Plato and Aristotle used prose in works like The Republic and Politics. In simple terms, ang prose dito ay mas formal at focus sa teaching. And medieval era. Sa medieval era naman, naging more on religion ang prose dahil sa influence ng church. Most writings ay nakalatin at ginagamit sa religious teaching, historical records at legends. So, naging tool siya para ipalaganap ang religion at mga documents ng events. Pero dito rin nagsimula ang early storytelling. For example, The Bible and Le Morte d'Arthur by Thomas Malory. In simple terms, ang prose na to is religious at historical with some storytelling elements. And the third one is about Renaissance era, the 14th and 17th century. Sa Renaissance era naman, mas naging creative and expressive ang prose. Nag-focus na ang writer sa human experiences at individuality, so mas naging personal at relatable ang writing. For example, William Shakespeare used prose for dialogues ng kanyang plays para mas natural pakinggan. And Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes is considered one of the first modern novels. So, in simple terms, ang prose na to is ginagamit na for self-expression at entertainment. And, of course, for the conclusion, nag-evolve ang prose from formal and educational. Mas naging religious and historical hanggang sa maging creative and expensive siya. So, in simple terms, from pang-explain lang, naging way na rin siya para ma-express ang experiences and emotions ng mga tao. And that's all. Thank you po.
Good day everyone! I will discuss the development of prose during the Enlightenment, Modern, and Contemporary era. First, during the Enlightenment era, prose became an important way to share knowledge, ideas, and logical thinking. A writer focused on reason, education, and scientific and discovery. Essay, political writing, and philosophical work become popular because prose was used to inform people and encourage critical thinking. Next is the modern era prose continue to grow and become one of the most important form of the literature. Novels and short story and essay become a widely popular. A writing explored realistic, them, and such a society, human behavior, personal struggle, and relationship. This is era also emphasized creativity and deeper emotional expression. Next slides. The third slide is contemporary era. Prose have become more diverse and flexible, and modern writers experiment with different writing style, structure, and perspective. Prose is no longer limited to book, as it can also be found in blog online. Article is social media. It continue to reflect the experience and realistic of modern life. Overall, these are show how prose has continued evolve over time and making it essential part of literature and everyday communication. Thank you.